Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. I'm here with Adam Boyce from Spartan Mode. We're going to talk about his knife design with tops and talk about what he looks for in a self-defense blade and also the self-defense methods that he teaches of martial blade concepts.
That's right, yeah. Well, Jason, I appreciate having me on today. So what I look for in a self-defense knife is there's a few things. First, the knife needs to be able to cut effectively and needs to be able to thrust as well. I need to be able to hold on the knife when I'm in a situation. I also need to be able to manage impact shock. So if I'm to thrust, I don't want my fingers to slide forward and cut. Those are the main three criteria I look for in a knife when I choose one. So going on that lines, I designed a knife with tops that was, in my opinion, the best for self-defense. It kind of hits all those key points, but also is super robust, a knife that's going to be strong. So what we designed was a Wharncliffe blade. So this is the Agoge2, designed by me, made by Tops. And again, what we're looking at here is a Wharncliffe blade. So basically picture a box cutter on steroids. Mm-hmm. You know, for utility work, what you're looking for is something that cuts deep all the way. So when you have a knife and a good grip, what I'm looking for is something that I can cut all the way from the heel to the tip and allow solid pressure. So that's why I like the Wharncliffe, because if you look at the way that the arm works, if I'm ever going to use a knife to cut or thrust, we're looking at an arc of motion. And what you'll find with most knives is they'll have a little bit of belly or curve to the blade. So as you apply pressure, it's going to dissipate. So in a self-defense situation, when I'm trying to stop somebody, I need the blade to work as efficiently as possible. So we want something like this. So you're looking at that blade being able to cut all the way from the heel to the tip, applying pressure all the way through. The other thing that you'll find with a Wharncliffe design that's pretty interesting is because of the angles here, for penetration, it actually is one of the best penetration knives as well. When this penetrates, what it does is it actually acts as like a ramp and opens up and penetrates deeper than a standard knife would.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of what we looked for in the blade. Another thing you'll look for with this is we made the spine a little bit thicker. Wharncliffes are notorious for being very brittle at the tip. So we made this one a little bit thicker and more robust, as a Tops knife is going to hold up to extreme pressures and testing. And this knife will hold up to those. That's why we designed it the way we did. It can be used in a standard grip or a reverse grip. Either option is fine. That's kind of an overview of that knife. Let's talk about carry options for it. When we designed this knife, there's a few things we did with the sheath. So what you'll see is I like to carry a fixed blade on a static line. So basically what a static line is, a piece of paracord, and then you're going to take it and make a cow hitch around your belt. So it'd be something like this. If this was my belt, just like that. So what that allows to happen is, as this is tucked in my waistband, when I pull this out, it pops out of the sheath's out of the way, and that does a couple things. Number one, I can clear it with either hand. I can do it with one hand or both hands. And also, it keeps me from cutting myself. With a blade this sharp and this straight, I don't want to give myself an exposure to a cut. So when I hit the end of that rope, it pops out and allows more safety for me.
Actually, you know, that you mentioned that, it makes sense to me. Like, I think about that because whenever I pull a knife out off my hip or something, I'm always having to be really careful about it because I don't want to cut my love handles. You know, I'm a big guy. And now that you say that, I'm like, geez, that makes sense. Like when you pull it out, you're essentially that far away from your body. And
Yep.
you really limits the risk of cutting yourself. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that too.
Awesome. Well, the other advantage to doing the static line this is if you put it in the crease of your hip here, you can still bend and move without it kind of getting in your way. Again, if you want to keep a knife hidden or concealed, it's a great way to do it from that standpoint. Another thing we did with the sheath that was kind of something I wanted is we put this big hook on the back. So the idea behind that is if I have it in a pant pocket or inside of a sweater, I can basically just pull it out and hook onto that hook, and it will deploy the knife as well.
Kind of similar to like the pocket sheaths for handguns. They have that little bridge so that you don't pull the whole holster out with the gun.
Yeah, exactly like that. So that's another way to deploy that. It also comes with these holes here, and initially it comes with some belt loops,
for the appendix scout carry kind of.
Yep, so you can carry scout. This knife is actually originally designed for carry on attack vest. I have a background as on the special response team as a sniper and assaulter, and I wanted something I could use with gloves. I live in a cold environment, so I wanted something a little bit more big and robust that I could use with gloves as well. You'll find too, people often ask about this knife as far as why does it have this on the back of it. When you look at a knife for self-defense, the big thing again is you need to be able to hold onto that knife effectively. There's lots of different ways to hold onto a knife, but I prefer what's called the Filipino grip. And basically what that is I'm going to grab the knife this way with put it in the palm of my hands. The bottom 3 fingers are where the strength comes from, and then the thumb goes on the back. The reason I like the thumb on the back is it kind of creates a natural point of aim. So basically wherever I put my thumb is where that knife is going to cut. Also, when you think about cutting pressure, if I have my thumb here on the back, as I apply pressure, I'm applying pressure deeper with a cut with it versus like a hammer grip or a saber grip or any of those others. So you can hold your knife however you want, but this is why that's that way. It's just kind of a nice, comfortable place to put your thumb naturally to give you the best cutting potential with the knife. Same thing, reverse grip. It allows me to, on the back, put that thumb on the back. If you've ever done any cutting tests or stabbing with a reverse grip, like an ice pick style, what you'll find is if you don't put your thumb on the top of that, as you apply pressure, there's the potential of your fingers sliding off and cutting on there. So we wanted something nice and robust that you could grab on there as well. Yep. So that
makes sense. Like putting your thumb on the back. Having cut stuff like this, it's a fulcrum point, and you hit something hard, your wrist is going to bend. So having that thumb, it's not. You're blocking your wrist in places. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that in a nutshell is this knife. We usually do really well with this knife. Tops makes it for me, and it sells out really fast. So we're hoping to get more in production soon. But that's kind of in a nutshell the reason behind this blade.
So when they do come into stock, where do they find it? Where would they find it at?
So it'll be on my website, spartanmode.com. And as soon as I get them, I'll put them up there, and they go pretty quick.
I'll put a link in the description to Spartan Mode's website, so you guys can sign up for his newsletter and stuff like that. And I'm sure you probably send out an email when they come in stock. So you can keep an eye out that if it's a knife you're interested in getting, which I think you should be because it's pretty awesome. I like how it's not, even though it's a large knife, it's not a super heavy knife. It's like, I think you carry this comfortably all day long.
Yeah.
No problem. Really nice. So how did you get into, Martial Blade Concepts? What exactly is it for people that don't know?
So Martial Blade Concepts is a system I teach. It's developed by Michael Janich. And what it is, it's a system that kind of incorporates the best of modern knife use for self-defense. So what it looks at is the legalities behind using a knife. What you'll find with a lot of knife systems is they'll carry a knife that's really big. And it's like, okay, I don't carry a knife that big around. So some of the techniques you would learn in traditional systems won't apply or won't be very efficient with a knife that's 3 inches long or 2.5 inches long if you're in Chicago. So it kind of analyzes that. Also, it looks at what are the potentials of stopping somebody. It's not about killing. How do I stop somebody as fast as possible? The quicker I can stop somebody, the more safety I have. I don't want to kill somebody and then end up dying later myself. I need to stop them as efficiently as possible. So that's what this system looks at. And it's all about how do I stop somebody with a blade using something I can actually carry every day.
Oh, awesome. And then would you say that the techniques that you teach, are they designed for just a normal person that doesn't have to have like a martial arts background or anything like that? It's basic kind of, I don't want to say basic, it's nothing basic about training, right?
Yeah.
But would somebody just off the street be able to pick up the concepts easily and apply them quickly? And that's without like, obviously you want to train always, but some people just don't, but they could get a basic concept of it and retain it,
Yeah, that's the thing that I like most about the system. I trained a lot of systems prior to this, just trying to find what the best was. What happened initially is I was a defensive tactics instructor, and we were doing knife defense, and none of the stuff worked when we pressure tested. So I studied with a bunch of different people all over the country, and I found Martial Blade Concepts, and the reason I like it is because of the simplicity. It focuses on reference points. So basically, I don't have to do a standard response for like a hit this way, then cut this way, and do that. If I see a target, I know that I can cut it. So it's a really simple way of doing self-defense. Also from the standpoint of it builds off of instinct. So it's like, okay, we want to use techniques that you do every day. So it's a good system to learn from that standpoint. You can go off and study very deep in the system and learn a lot of stuff if you want. But really, if you learn the very basic concepts, even with a 4-hour seminar, if you review those over and over and over and over and over again, and you get those basic responses down, it will give you a good foundation. Obviously, in a self-defense situation, we don't know what is going to happen, and that's the hard part about self-defense.
It's chaotic. I've been in a few myself,
Yeah.
so working where I work, it happens at the drop of a dime, and it's amazing how quickly you forget a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
And that's the reason why it's important to do simple stuff. Mike Janich refers to, a lot of people say, hey, you need a big toolbox. Like, I got to add that to my toolbox. He likes to refer to it as like, I need a tool belt. When you look at a carpenter, what they do is it's like, okay, they're going to go do their work, and they have the main tools that they use on their belt, and they don't lug around this huge toolbox everywhere they go. It's like, okay, what things can I use? What concepts, what principles can I use that will provide me the most safety in a variety of situations? And that's what I like about martial blade concepts, is this just breaks it down to here's some very simple stuff. And it's based off of also analyzing how actual knife attacks occur. So that's one of the things I like to do as well, is I'll get on YouTube or LiveLink and I review how do actual knife attacks occur. I talk to friends that have been attacked and get their story on how things work as well. So that's why I think I like martial blade concepts so much.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to look into it, because I carry a knife all the time, but I've had no training on actually how to use a knife for self-defense or anything like that. So definitely want to get hooked up with you, learn this martial blades concept. I want to get my family involved in it too, because things are getting crazy out there.
Yeah, they are.
So you may not have the ability to carry a firearm for self-protection, but you can always carry a knife just about anywhere. So.
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with you. Also, the cool thing with the system is that the principles apply over to empty hand skills and also like impact tools. So if you learn these concepts with a knife, they're easily transferable to like a pen or a flashlight as well. Like for the knife, for example, I can't always take it on an airplane, but the skills and concepts I can use using other impact tools as well. So,
and with that, you have all these, like, I won't call them tactical pins, but you got these really robust pins now that you can take on a plane. They don't tell you can't. So
yeah,
I mean, you use that to punch a hole in your juice box, if you will. So awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks, Jason.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Guys, check out SpartanMode.com, right?
Yep,
and then also, where else can they find you?
Also on Instagram, it's Spartan.mode. That's probably the best place to get a hold of me is the website or SpartanMode.com.
Awesome.
Instagram. Sorry,
Instagram.
at Spartan.mode at Instagram. Yeah, that.
Awesome. I'll put a link to Instagram in the description below as well. So please go check out his site, see what he has to offer. Sign up so you know when these come in stock so you can get one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'm even messing up my outro. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.
All right, take care. See you guys.